All right, hello wine drinking people. Today is Wednesday, July 7th. That's right, folks, we got just a few events this week. Soder tomorrow night, we still have a little room for the Vintage Brunello tasting. We are sold out, and we got a waiting list, so a little bit oversold for that. And then next week, I have a couple of great events going on while I'm out of town. What I've got to sell you today. And that's an event next Wednesday night at Cafe Maxx with the Jorge Ordonez portfolio of Spanish wines. And no, folks, Jorge will not be here. Although we do have a couple Jorge sightings every year in South Florida. We have yet been able to get him to do one of our tastings at Cafe Maxx, but maybe someday. We have been followers of his work in Spain from the very beginning, 1987 when he got started. And Jorge has brought us some of the greatest wines coming from Spain. And he started when there was very little interest in Spanish wine. There were very few people, collectors, that were taking Spanish wine seriously other than Vega Sicilia and Pesquera and a few things from Rioja and Ribera del Duero. There wasn't a lot of stuff going on in Spain at that time. If you remember back in the 70s when Franco ruled Spain, there wasn't any foreign wines being brought into Spain. And there wasn't much leaving Spain for that matter either. So there wasn't much encouragement for the vintners and the growers to make better wines. They were just making average wines. There was a lot of co-ops still to this day in Spain, and Jorge was one of the first guys to go down there and start sorting through all this ancient vines and saying, all right, we need to separate this. We need to bring our winemaking into the 20th century and start doing this and that. He does play a large role in how his producers make their wines. A lot of the times also he's given them a lot of great advice as to how to make better wines. And although we've got 3 wines from Jorge here, I just wanted to show you his portfolio wines ranges from things like this Borsal, which is under $10 a bottle. It's one of the best values that I have in the store. When people say, I want something cheap to cook with or make sangria, this is the wine I always recommend to them, and I will not cook with anything that I won't drink. This is also a wine that to me is perfectly fit for human consumption. And then Jorge also has these wines like the El Nido, one of the new wines from Jumilla, Monastrell, and Cabernet Sauvignon blend that is absolutely outstanding at the top level of quality. The Juan Gil, the entry-level wine in this line, and then the Clio, also outstanding wines. Jorge has been on the cutting edge since the very beginning. And then he's got properties like Muga. Muga is a great property from Rioja, one of the old school producers, and one of the best in my opinion. I had an opportunity to visit Muga on my first trip to Spain in 1994. But today we've got a great lineup of wines, from a dry muscatel, some really interesting stuff, to Albarino, to a Rosé Cava, and then a little Grenache from this Ateca winery, which we did have this wine at our tasting last year, was outstanding. And then some new stuff from Toro, Trinton, and then another new wine that I haven't had, and sorry I won't be here. You're going to have Mr. Steve Sink will be conducting our tasting at Cafe Maxx next week. One of the foremost experts on fine wine in South Florida. He runs or helps to run Stacole, the company that's brought Jorge's wines to you for the last 20 or some odd years at least. Okay, so some interesting things there. I know you're saying, what the heck is this large bottle of Dominus doing here? This just kind of snuck up on us today, the 2007 release of Dominus. Check it out on today's email. I'm your host, Andrew Lampazone, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.